Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to share with you something very close to my heart. This is the story of how I learned English in only 1 month. Yes, 30 days of hard work changed my life forever. Maybe you are thinking, 1 month? That is not possible. I know how it sounds. I used to think the same when I heard stories of fast learners. But today, I will tell you the truth of my journey. And I promise, if I can do it, so can you. Before this 1 month, my English was very poor. I could understand some words, maybe a few short sentences, but not much more. When people spoke fast, I felt lost and scared. I often pretended to understand even when I did not. I avoided situations where English was required. I stayed quiet in groups. I never raised my hand in class. I was shy, nervous, and always worried about mistakes. English felt like a heavy wall standing between me and the world. But one day, something changed. I was walking home when a tourist asked me a simple question in English. He wanted to know where the nearest shop was. I understood a little, but I could not answer. I froze. I just smiled and pointed. After he left, my heart sank. I felt small and embarrassed. That night, I asked myself, why am I living like this? Why am I so afraid of a language? And in that moment, I made a decision. I would face this fear head on. I told myself, enough is enough. I decided that for 1 month, English would be my entire life. No excuses, no delays, no waiting for the perfect time. I would use every hour, every chance, and every breath to learn this language. At first, it felt scary. 1 month is not much time. But I believed something strongly. It is not the amount of time that matters, it is the amount of focus. 30 days of deep effort can be more powerful than 3 years of lazy practice. So, I started to plan my days carefully. I created a simple routine that I could follow without fail. My mornings, afternoons, and nights would all be connected to English. I decided to make English my world, my environment, and my friend. Every morning, I woke up early. The first thing I did was play an English podcast while brushing my teeth. I did not care if I understood everything. My goal was to make my ears feel at home with the sounds of English. While eating breakfast, I watched short English videos. I listened carefully and repeated after the speakers. I paused, copied the sentence, and said it again. Sometimes I sounded strange, but that was okay. I knew that practice makes progress. During the afternoon, I read short English articles. If I did not know a word, I underlined it. But I did not stop reading. I tried to guess the meaning from the sentence. Only after finishing the whole text did I check the dictionary. At night, I took 10 new words and wrote them in a notebook. I made 3 simple sentences with each word. Then I read them out loud again and again. I wanted the words to live inside me, not just stay on the page. Speaking was the biggest challenge for me. In the beginning, my voice shook. I felt nervous and my sentences broke in the middle. But I remembered something important. Confidence comes from practice, not from waiting. So I spoke anyway. I talked to myself in the mirror. I recorded my voice on my phone. I even joined free online chats with strangers. Many times I made mistakes. Some people corrected me, some people laughed, and some people ignored me. But I never stopped. Day by day, I noticed small changes. I could understand more words in songs. I could follow more of the dialogue in movies. I could reply faster when someone asked me a question. My confidence was slowly growing, like a seed turning into a plant. To keep myself motivated, I surrounded myself with English. I changed my phone to English. I changed the language of my social media. Even my shopping list was written in English. I wanted to live in English, not just study it. There were moments of frustration. Sometimes I felt tired. Sometimes I wanted to give up, but I reminded myself of my promise. I told myself, it is only 1 month. Don't waste these days. Don't quit now. That voice kept me going. I also realized that mistakes were my best teacher. Every time I said something wrong, I learned how to say it better. Every time I misunderstood, I worked harder to understand next time. Mistakes were no longer scary. They became my guide. In the second week, my improvement was clear. I could introduce myself more naturally. I could ask questions without freezing. My sentences were not perfect, but they were real. People began to notice that I was trying hard and they respected it. One day, I joined a short online conversation group. At first, I was nervous. My hands were shaking. But when my turn came, I spoke. My sentences were simple, but I finished them. And the group clapped for me. That moment gave me courage. By the third week, I was speaking every single day. I spoke to my family in English. I spoke to friends who wanted to practice with me. Sometimes they laughed, but I laughed too. English was no longer my enemy, it was becoming my tool. My listening also improved. I started watching English movies without subtitles. At first, I understood maybe 50%, but even that made me proud. Each day, the percentage grew higher. My ears were adjusting, my brain was learning faster. Reading became easier too. In the beginning, one page felt heavy, but after 3 weeks, I could finish short stories in one sitting. I began to enjoy reading, not just to study, but as a way to relax and imagine. By the end of the month, I looked back and could not believe the difference. From zero confidence to real conversations, from broken words to complete sentences, from fear to courage. All of this happened in 30 days of focus. Friends, I want to tell you something important. You do not need 5 years to learn English. You do not need expensive courses or perfect grammar. What you need is strong commitment, daily practice, and the courage to keep going. This was just the beginning of my story. In the next part, I will tell you exactly how I built my daily system. I will share the methods that worked, the mistakes I avoided, and the secrets that helped me improve faster. Stay with me. When I look back, I realized that my success in learning English so quickly was not magic. It was a clear system of habits that I built every single day. In this part, I want to tell you how I created that system, how I followed it, and how it helped me grow. The first rule of my system was consistency. I promised myself to touch English every single day without fail. Even if I was tired, even if I was busy, I gave at least 1 hour to English. This rule created discipline, and discipline created progress. The second rule was immersion. I stopped thinking of English as a subject, and I started treating it like my environment. I listened, read, spoke, and wrote in English all day. I changed my world into an English-speaking world, even when no one around me spoke English. The third rule was balance. I made sure to practice all 4 skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. If I only read, my speaking would stay weak. If I only listened, my writing would suffer. Balance kept my learning complete and strong. Listening was my favorite activity. Every morning, I played podcasts, news, or YouTube videos. I didn't stop if I didn't understand everything. I just let my brain get used to the rhythm and flow of English. I treated English like music, and I listened daily. To improve my listening faster, I used repetition. I listened to the same short audio many times. The first time, I understood only a little. The second time, I understood more. By the 5th time, I almost knew every word. Repetition made English stick. For speaking, I used a method I call shadowing. I listened to a sentence, paused, and repeated it in the same rhythm and tone as the speaker. At first, it was difficult, but soon my tongue and lips moved more naturally. This made my speech smoother. I also practiced speaking alone. Many people think you need a partner, but that is not true. I spoke to myself in the mirror, describing my day or my plans. I recorded my voice and listened back. Sometimes I laughed at my mistakes, but it made me better. Reading was also important. I didn't choose difficult books at the start. I read simple articles, short stories, and even comic books. The goal was not to be perfect, but to make reading fun. The more I enjoyed it, the more I read. I had a special notebook for new words, but I didn't just write the word and its meaning. I wrote 3 full sentences for each new word.
I read them out loud again and again until I felt natural. This way, the words became part of me. Writing helped me organize my thoughts. Every night, I wrote a small diary in English. The sentences were simple, but they were mine. Writing gave me time to think, and it showed me what words I still needed to learn. To keep my system strong, I needed motivation. So I created a vision for myself. I imagined future me, confident, fluent, and speaking English with ease. Every time I felt tired, I closed my eyes and saw that version of myself. That picture gave me power. I also used small rewards. After 1 week of daily practice, I treated myself to something nice, like a favorite snack. After 2 weeks, I allowed myself to watch an English movie guilt-free. These rewards made me excited to keep going. But motivation was not always enough. Some days I woke up late. Some days I felt lazy. On those days, I relied on discipline. Discipline is doing what you must do even when you don't feel like it. This saved me many times. Another secret was focus. During my practice time, I turned off distractions. I put my phone away, closed social media, and gave my full attention to English. 1 focused hour gave me more progress than 3 hours of half-hearted study. To test myself, I joined free online groups. I searched for language exchange partners. Sometimes the connection was bad, sometimes the conversations were short, but every chat gave me real practice. I was no longer hiding. I was using English with strangers. One day, I joined a group with people from different countries. I was nervous, but I spoke anyway. At first, my sentences were simple, but the other learners encouraged me. They said, "Your English is improving fast." That compliment gave me new energy. I also learned that courage grows from action, not from waiting. If I had waited until I felt ready, I would still be silent today. By speaking before I was ready, I trained my brain to handle fear. Fear didn't disappear, but I learned to act anyway. During the 2nd and 3rd weeks, my growth was visible. My family noticed I was speaking English around the house. My friends asked me to help them with words. Even strangers online told me they were impressed. This feedback pushed me forward. I realized something important. Learning English is not only about words. It is also about courage, patience, and self-belief. If you don't believe in yourself, no method will work. But if you trust your process, you will see results. I also avoided the trap of perfection. Many learners wait until their grammar is perfect. That is a mistake. I made grammar errors every day, but I still spoke, and each mistake became a lesson. Progress, not perfection, became my rule. Another big lesson was energy management. I noticed that I learned faster when I studied in the morning. My mind was fresh and my memory was stronger. At night, I was often tired, so I gave my best hours to English. That small change helped a lot. Music became part of my method too. I listened to English songs, read the lyrics, and sang along. It was fun, and it improved my pronunciation. Sometimes I didn't sound perfect, but I enjoyed the rhythm. Learning became play, not just work. By the 3rd week, I could watch short English movies without subtitles. At first, I only understood half, but as days passed, the percentage grew. The more I listened, the clearer it became. My brain was adapting, like a muscle getting stronger. Reading became smoother too. In the beginning, even a page was heavy, but after weeks of practice, I could finish short stories easily. I started enjoying stories, not just for English, but for fun. That joy made learning easier. I also learned the power of asking questions. Whenever I spoke with someone better at English, I asked, "Can you correct me if I'm wrong?" Most people were kind and helped me. Those small corrections built my confidence. To stay on track, I kept a progress journal. Every night, I wrote what I did that day. how many words I learned, how many minutes I listened, how many sentences I spoke. This journal kept me honest. It showed me my effort clearly. By the end of the month, I felt like a different person. English was no longer just a school subject. It was a living skill that connected me to the world. I could express my thoughts, share my feelings, and build real connections. Friends, if I could do this in 1 month, you can too. The secret is not talent. The secret is daily effort, strong focus, and never giving up. If you give your heart for 30 days, you will surprise yourself with how much you grow. In the next part, I will tell you about the challenges I faced, the mistakes I made, and the lessons that shaped my journey. These are the things I want you to avoid so your learning can be even faster than mine. Don't miss it.
Learning English in 1 month was not easy. I had many challenges that tried to stop me, but every challenge became a lesson, and every lesson made me stronger. Now I want to share those challenges with you so you can avoid my mistakes. The first challenge was doubt. In the beginning, my mind whispered, "You cannot do this." That small voice was heavy. It made me feel weak. But I fought doubt by taking action. Every small step was proof that I could learn. The second challenge was distraction. Social media, messages, and random videos stole my time. I wasted hours scrolling without learning. Then I realized my phone could be my teacher, not my enemy. I filled it with English apps, books, and videos. The third challenge was fear of speaking. Every time I tried, my heart beat fast. I was afraid of mistakes, afraid of laughter. But I remembered, silence is the biggest mistake of all. So I spoke anyway. Each word was a victory. Another challenge was lack of focus. Sometimes I tried to do too many things at once. I jumped from grammar to vocabulary to reading in 1 hour. I was busy, but not productive. Then I learned, focus on one thing at a time. The fifth challenge was impatience. I wanted to be fluent in 1 week. When I didn't see instant results, I felt upset. But English is like a seed. You water it daily, and only then it grows. I learned to trust the process. The sixth challenge was grammar rules. I thought I must learn every rule perfectly, but grammar books were heavy and boring. Then I changed my method. I learned grammar through examples, not just rules. I saw patterns in real sentences. The seventh challenge was vocabulary overload. I wanted to memorize hundreds of words at once, but soon I forgot them all. I changed my approach. Fewer words, more practice. 10 words used daily were better than 50 forgotten. The eighth challenge was comparison. I compared myself to fluent speakers and felt small, but comparison only steals joy. I reminded myself, I am not in competition with others. I am only competing with yesterday's version of me. The ninth challenge was energy. Some days I was tired from work and study. I wanted to skip English. But I found a secret. Even 10 minutes counts. On tired days, I did small tasks. Small drops still fill the bucket. The 10th challenge was boredom. Repeating the same thing daily felt dull. So I added variety. One day, I watched movies. Another day, I listened to music. Another day, I wrote stories. Changing the activity kept my mind alive. Another mistake was focusing too much on passive learning. At first, I only listened and read, but I wasn't speaking or writing enough. Then I realized active learning is the real key. Use the language, not just watch it. I also made the mistake of ignoring pronunciation. I thought vocabulary was enough, but when I spoke, people couldn't understand me. Then I started practicing sounds, mouth shapes, and stress. Clear pronunciation gave power to my words.
Sometimes I studied too long without breaks. My brain became tired and nothing stayed inside. I learned that short breaks are not wasted time. They refresh the mind and make learning more effective. Rest is part of progress. One challenge was loneliness. No one around me was learning English. I felt like I was walking alone. But then I found online groups. Suddenly, I was not alone. I had partners who encouraged me and walked with me on the same path. I also struggled with translation. I wanted to translate every word into my native language, but that slowed me down. I forced myself to think in English, even with simple words. Slowly, English became more natural in my mind. Procrastination was another enemy. I told myself, I'll practice later, but later never came. I broke this habit by studying at the same time every day. Fixed times created rhythm, and rhythm killed delay. At one point, I felt stuck. I was not improving fast. I thought I hit a wall. But then I remembered, a wall is not the end, it is a sign to climb higher. I changed my strategy, and soon the wall disappeared. I also faced criticism. Some people laughed at my mistakes. Their words hurt. But I realized they are not living my life. Their laughter cannot decide my future. I kept speaking, and my confidence grew stronger than their opinions. One powerful lesson I learned is that failure is not final. Each mistake showed me where I needed to grow. If I avoided mistakes, I avoided growth. I changed my mindset. Mistakes became my teachers, not my enemies. Another lesson was about small goals. I used to set big goals like be fluent in 1 month. That felt scary. Then I made small goals like learn 10 words today or watch 1 video. Small goals built big success. I also learned the value of review. New information disappears fast if you don't revisit it. Every weekend, I reviewed everything I learned. This review made my knowledge strong, like building a wall brick by brick. Discipline was my strongest lesson. Talent is nothing without discipline. Many people are smart but waste time. I promised myself never to waste time. Every hour counted. Discipline turned me into a different person. I also learned the importance of courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is action despite fear. Every time I spoke English, even when afraid, I grew stronger. Courage was the engine of my progress. Another lesson was health. I noticed when I slept well, my learning was faster. When I exercised, my mind was sharp. A healthy body saved time and gave me more energy to learn. Health and learning walk hand in hand. I also learned patience. Some days were slow. Some days felt empty, but I kept going. And then suddenly, I realized I had grown a lot. Patience is the silent builder of success. Without it, no growth is possible. I learned to celebrate small wins. When I understood a video, I celebrated. When I spoke a sentence correctly, I celebrated. These celebrations gave me joy and motivation. Small wins are the fuel of long journeys. One more lesson was about focus on progress, not perfection. Perfect English does not exist. Even native speakers make mistakes. What matters is progress every day. That mindset gave me freedom to learn without fear. Finally, I learned that time is the real currency of life. Every wasted hour is a lost opportunity, but every invested hour creates a better future. I chose to invest my hours in English, and it gave me confidence, knowledge, and new doors. By the end of 1 month, I was not perfect, but I was transformed. I could listen, speak, read, and write with confidence. My journey showed me that anyone can learn English if they use their time wisely. Friends, your journey may be different, but the rules are the same. Be consistent, be patient, be brave, and respect your time. If you do these things, 1 month can change your life forever. So now I challenge you. Don't waste your time. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start today. Build your system. Create your plan. And in 30 days, you will look back and be proud of yourself. Remember, English is not just a language. It is a key. It opens doors to jobs, travel, friends, and opportunities. That key is already in your hands. All you need to do is use it daily. Your future self is waiting for you. Every hour you spend learning brings you closer. Do not let fear, doubt, or laziness steal your time. Choose action. Choose discipline. Choose growth. And when you succeed, share your story. Inspire others to start their journey, because one story can change another person's life, just like I am sharing my story with you today. So this is my message. Time is short, life is fast, and English can be your bridge. Respect your time, love the process, and never give up. That is how I learned English in 1 month, and that is how you can too. Thank you for listening to my journey. I hope it gives you strength and clarity. Remember, you are capable of more than you believe. All it takes is 1 month of serious effort. Start today.
Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Use your time wisely. Keep learning every day. See you in the next video, my friends.